I actually kind of feel like The Simpsons is kind of like a cultural gateway arbiter of like what is canonized as important things to know for
Mhm.
millennials. Like
Mhm.
Hello, Mutta.
it's
Hello, Fada.
it's like legitimate culture, you know? It's something that you if you don't understand the actual thing, you probably have a decent like gist of it, you know? Like you could probably represent it accurately. Like I didn't watch Bonnie and no, sorry. I didn't watch Thelma and Louise until I was like 30. But I knew
Oh,
what
yeah.
Louise was because of the Thelma and Louise episode of The Simpsons. Because it's
Mhm.
great and it was canonized as great. We have 10 episodes left in the show, and we are running out of time to get this out there into the world. So we're going to do 5 episodes today, audience. We're going to do the first half of season 5. Um, and holy shit, this season was very clearly a last minute thought. Uh,
Oh,
it was not originally.
was it?
Yeah. And I think it really reflects in the wildly varying quality of these episodes that we watch. We're going to talk about the Phalanx Covenant and Stormfront, those two-parters, and we're also going to do Jubilee's Fairytale Theater because those are the 5 episodes that came out in 1996 in the fall, interspersed with a couple episodes from season 3 and 4 that hadn't aired yet, like the long shot episode, Bloodlines, No Mute is an Island, just a random smattering of totally ridiculous episodes. This is definitely when I stopped following the show. Like I remember I was very excited for the Phalanx Covenant two-parter because that was like a comic book that I knew about and it's actually seen in the stores myself. Because it was like the summer of 1994's big X-Men comic book storyline. So that I was really excited for that. And then I don't know what the fuck was going on with the other 3 episodes. Um, before we get
Listen.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. What you thinking before we get into these?
oh no. I just the varying quality, it really does. It screams end for me because it has so many of the tropes in it that are like, I don't want to say last minute additions, but like when you were on a TV show in the 1990s and you were running out of things to do, that usually meant we got a fairy tale episode
Yeah, like here's an alternate reality that's
where
totally
everything is fairy tale.
yeah.
Scrubs did it, Star Trek did it.
Okay, so the Phalanx Covenant. First off, I think it's pretty cool that we finally get a major important story starring Beast again. He was
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
and possibly not even originally planned to be part of the whole team. Like he maybe planned to be in prison the whole time. So he doesn't factor in too much unless he's having a solo episode. But like, God, has he had a solo episode since Beauty and the Beast and late season 2? I don't think he has. So he finally gets some chance to shine, and I like how this story starts kind of in medias res. Like they bring Sabretooth in, and we don't know what's going on with Sabretooth. And that was also a thing in the comics that Sabretooth was captured and they tried to rehabilitate him starting around this period in the mid 90s, trying to make like another Wolverine out of Sabretooth, but that never took, and he always went back to killing and murdering.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
Typical.
sorry. One of the first things that I wrote down is Sabretooth has never had a chill thought in his entire life. Ever.
yeah,
Guy is always at 12.
he wants to
Mhm.
murder people like as a compulsion.
Yup.
So Beast is listening to music, and I really like how the last thing that the aliens can like take over in the house, like the last bit of technology that they've managed to manipulate, is the old record player. Like they're able to take out people that are interacting with newer, more modern stuff first. It does make sense that because he's listening to like, an old record, that the Phalanx manages to get to him last. So we're not going to learn this until later in the episode, but the Phalanx is essentially like a techno-organic parasite version of the Borg. Like it has a whole civilization of machine intelligence, but it like for some reason it like produces offspring that have independence and then absorbs them back into itself. So it kind of puts itself through that's kind of its own psychological process of being absorbed and then goes out and does it to other people, which I think is really interesting.
Sort of like digital wasps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really unique concept. Like even though it feels like the Borg right away, so it's easy to understand, but it's also got its own little features. And like it's also interesting that the Phalanx can't as easily absorb mutants as other humans because they are a more complex, evolved form of something. So that's like another way that um, we kind of come back to a theme that's been very common in X-Men comics in the past 10, 15 years is the ultimate battle is ultimately between mutants and artificial intelligence and machinery, violence, weaponry. And it's actually eventually been revealed through this crazy series by this guy, Jonathan Hickman, that Moira McTaggart is actually a mutant. And
Mm.
her mutant power is being able to live again and
Oh,
again.
I thought it was the Scottish thing.
Oh, no, no, no. So she
She's
discovers
got
she's a mutant.
red hair.
She discovers she's a mutant when she just lives a normal life as a passerby, like just a normal person, and sees the rise of mutants and all of this stuff. And then she eventually dies. And then I think the second life is when she realizes that she is this mutant. And she is heavily involved with the creation of the X-Men from the beginning. And invariably, in all of her lives, there winds up being this like knockdown, drag out fight between the mutants and technologies, whether it be Sentinels or the Phalanx or some version of it. That it's always like the human evolutionary ability to evolve and mutate and become something greater versus technology's oppression and sameness and replacement. That's kind of become the core metaphorical thing that the X-Men are discussing because they've moved beyond the Xavier Magneto thing, right? Like ideologically, Magneto has won. Magneto has joined the X-Men and he's the mentor for Cyclops who leads it with basically his philosophies. Xavier's liberal view of how to coexisting with mutants and humans is kind of lost. It's like, oh no, we mutants just need to do what's best for them, is kind of the take now.
And it sounds like Magnus is just kind of tired at this point. Like he lost the meteor planet thing that he had going, and he's just like, meh.
Yeah, and that's a reflection of what was going on in the comics too. Like they're reacting to what was happening in comics that had come out after the show started, which is cool. Um, but yeah, so the current version of the Marvel universe, where Moira McTaggart is a human that works with mutants, is actually Moira's choice of after years and years and years of being part of this battle and aiding Xavier, et cetera, to hide that she is a mutant, pretend that she's not, and work along the mutants as a human and see if that version of reality somehow doesn't end up in the destruction of everything.
Hmm.
So she's gonna kiss Charles and make him forget a bunch of stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, she
this
made
lady,
Charles forget his whole life, and she's in the past. She's come to Charles and be like, "Hey, this is my mutant power. Here's the choices you have made in the past. I'm giving you the choice to make this." In this reality, she is choosing not to make all the decisions for Xavier and to like excise herself from the situation and just see what Xavier does without her.
right? And
Fair
so
point.
she's Moira McTaggart every time. She's always the same, like same lady
Mhm.
every life.
No, one time she was Jean Grey. It was super weird.
Oh, dang. It'd be confusing. That
Yeah.
kind of sucked though, to be like, okay, I'm this like dumb Scottish bitch, but one day I'm gonna die and then I'll be able to come back and be the same annoying lady again.
To live out her life very differently every time, right?
Mm.
Oh yeah.
And the result is invariably like it always comes back to the battle between human evolution versus technological evolution.
I think this time I'm gonna have metal arms.
This storyline was also used to introduce Generation X when it first came out, which is the team of superheroes that Jubilee forms. It's like the new young version, in the same way that the New Mutants had been like a next generation of X-Men. They tried that again with Generation X, which lasted for a decade or two, but is mostly notable because the first Marvel mutant movie is Generation X, not X-Men. They made a Generation X Fox TV movie of the week in the mid 90s with Matt Frewer as some made up villain. And I think
How'd
some,
that do?
I mean, it did well by TV standards, but
I've never heard of it, so
it's
couldn't have done that well.
well, it's on YouTube. You can just watch the whole thing. I'm pretty sure.
The
Um,
mark of a good movie, available for free on YouTube because no one's cared enough to copyright strike it.
yeah, yeah, it does. I mean, I'm not 100% certain. I know that it has been on YouTube in the past, but it might not be there now. Uh,
Oh yeah, I
it
absolutely believe it.
has the White Queen, and like I think a better White Queen than the January Jones White Queen, which I feel is just kind of like there. She's just kind of
Sorry, I
arm
missed who is it that played the White Queen?
in Generation X. I don't know who. I'll look up this cast here.
Oh, fair.
There was
I thought
also
you said the name. Sorry, I thought I just missed it.
oh, that's fair. There's also Banshee is in it. This Generation X movie is so little known and unpopular that when you search for it, you're actually more likely to get hits for Degeneration X, the wrestling group. Anyway, it came out in 1996. Finola Hughes was the White Queen. Jeremy Ratchford was Banshee. Heather McComb was Jubilee. Uh, Not really. And she's like an actress that is still doing stuff. She was in The American Gigolo. She was in Ray Donovan, Prison Break. Probably the most successful person other than Matt Frewer, who's in it. Yeah. Oh, Gary Chalk's in it, friend of the show.
Friend of
Hell
the
yeah.
show.
Yeah. So you know it's good if Gary's in it. It's pretty wacky, and I think ultimately everybody at Marvel was kind of so upset with it that they kind of forced. Okay, we need to really do X-Men right. Look, it's our most popular thing. We can't fuck around. This
Maybe
can't
it
be.
was one of those things where they had to like keep the copyright, so they just threw something together, like the Fantastic Four storyline and Arrested Development.
Oh.
I think it was also like putting their feet wet into seeing like if X-Men was a viable TV show idea.
Hmm.
But TV wasn't ready for it until maybe like 2016, 17 when Legion starts. That's a show from the creator of Alien, Earth, and Fargo, Noah Hawley. That
Hmm.
is set. That is also it's the story of Professor Xavier's son, David Haller, Legion, who's in that Age of Apocalypse story that you're reading right now, Jamie. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, that's all the lore dumps. Actually, it's not even all the lore dumps. This Phalanx thing was a
Yeah,
big,
right.
big story. It was like all across all of the Marvel comics in summer 1994, right when the Phoenix Saga started to air. I remember getting in an argument with my friends at a sleepover because they were saying the Phoenix Saga was coming, and I was like, "No, it's the Phalanx Covenant, you dummies!" Because
You
I
dummies.
comic books in the stores and paid attention to that, and they were just, I guess, watching TV in the summer, which I never really was a fan of.
Hmm.
Cannot relate. Loved me some TV in the summer. I was too white to go out in the sun. I still am, but now I just don't really care that much.
The only thing I can remember watching in the summer was like Saved by the Bell and the Flintstones on TBS because it was at noon, so it was like you watch it with lunch. Made sense.
Mm.
Yeah. This is where our generational, because in the like when I was like 12 and 13 in the summer, we'd get seasons of like Lizzie McGuire and That's So Raven, and that's when High School Musical came out, was like
Somebody
July
had the
of
Disney Channel.
2006. Yes, I did.
Not
And you
all
know
of us
what?
had that luxury, I guess.
Well, it's it's funny that you say that because I did not have that luxury at home, but I did have a rich friend that I insisted on spending a lot of time there.
You gotta love the rich
Oh, it was
friend.
a really valid friendship, I see. Yeah. You guys were around.
Hey, listen, I don't even remember this person's name, so
His name is Jim.
uh, that's okay though. I don't remember a lot. Between 2004 and 2018, I did some stuff that made my memory a little shoddy.
Fair.
Huh.
Things and stuff, actually.
Nice. Yeah, Phoenix Saga of your own.
So Beast is
Uh-huh.
attacked by the Phalanx while he's listening to some tunes, and he realizes pretty quickly that all of the other X-Men have already fallen prey to it, including Wolverine, who's normally like the guy who's able to fight back. Not so in this case. So Beast manages to escape, drives out in a Jeep, and then one of these techno-organic robot things is suddenly there in his car. It's Warlock, and he explains everything that's happened. He and his partner grew up as individuals. Oh, yeah. Did you have something to say, Jamie?
Warlock is a fascinating character.
Hmm.
Just a lot. Just I have a lot to say about it mostly in the second half.
Yeah, he was
But
Like
in the
such a cool character with such a terrible design. Yeah.
straight up.
But he was from the mid 80s or so, so he'd been around for a long time, and the Phalanx Covenant was actually like a way to turn this character that had been there, like the idea of him that was I think he was an alien mutant, that he was a member of this Phalanx thing, and he was actually a mutation, that he had independence and individuality, so that's why he was part of the New Mutants, and then it all kind of and then he combined with this guy named Doug and became Douglock, which was less cool. And then I think went off to be in Excalibur. He wasn't as big a part of the story originally. But the cartoon I think is right to really focus on him because he is the most interesting part of it. Uh,
Um, his transformations really, really come in handy
Hmm.
because I wasn't aware that he could transform into a leg.
yeah,
Like,
he
well, I guess
forged his leg. It's great.
it
He's a
was so cool.
really unique character. He's a lot of fun. I think that this is a story that would be really good as like X-Men 7 or something. You know, if the MCU X-Men does really, really good, they kind of like tell all the big main stories. This would totally work as a movie self-contained, or you could build up to it with other stuff because you'd have, during the Phoenix Saga, you could establish because the Phalanx have actually attacked the Shi'ar too. I actually read some comic books some of my favorite comic books from the 90s were about this big war between the Phalanx and the Shi'ar after this invasion. Because it's like fucking big ass sci-fi by this awesome artist named Joe Madureira.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hey, isn't that the guy from True Blood? Really buff guy?
that's Joe Manganiello. Good reference. No, Joe Madureira drew a bunch of the Age of Apocalypse and Uncanny X-Men stuff in the mid 90s. Like he was kind of like the best guy after Jim Lee when Jim Lee went off to make his own comic book company with Todd McFarlane and a couple other creators.
I think they contact Senator Kelly first. They're like FaceTiming,
President
but
Kelly.
like
That's
Yeah, yeah. So they
President Kelly.
president, who's their friend from season one, and try to relay to him that there is this big invasion happening from the Phalanx in outer space. And the president gives away very clearly that he has already been taken captive. And that's what I think is really cool about this, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers variation, is that we come into the story so late, like so much of the invasion has already happened. And we're actually only coming into it at the point at which Hope appears, which is
My
what.
mom's never made me breakfast. Ah, sorry.
And then they go and they meet up with the only other like human sounding people, which is Forge and Quicksilver, the only remaining members of X Factor. They talk things through. Warlock explains the whole thing about how he and his partner came to the planet, and then the Phalanx have like sent a code and turned his partner into them, into the mindless version of them, which is cool. Like they didn't even have to arrive. The Phalanx aliens just sent their idea, which is that's pretty sick, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
And so the thing that they're fighting is ultimately Warlock's partner, which adds a nice emotional weight and drama to this, I think.
Kind of Akira vibes here too.
A little bit. But like if Canadian Tetsuo were lovers, although as soon as I said that, I was like,
If.
if. Yeah, no,
What do what movie did you watch?
I mean, notoriously, Akira's issues like one, two, three, and eight of an eight-part manga. So who knows what the fuck happens in five to seven? Like, I have no idea what happens in the middle of that story. The
I don't
third.
speak Japanese. I couldn't tell you.
You
Oh,
don't?
I'm just not. Uh, um, I'm just not that good with black and white manga, to be honest with you. I like
Mm.
color illustrations. Here I'll actually show you. Is
Nope.
this?
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, here is some of the comics that had the Shi'ar
Ooh.
stuff. They got Bishop with
Ooh.
a new costume.
Hmm.
No costumes in space. Oh, here's Jubilee. Fuck, why isn't it focusing on this? It's because my face is here. Ugh.
Don't want to see his fucking face. Show me the fucking comics.
Yeah, I want to show you guys how they draw the Phalanx. Like, here's a cool panel of Rogue
Hell yeah.
fighting the Phalanx.
Nice.
That's out of focus and everything, but
Sick.
yeah. I'll loan that to you, Jamie, once you finish the other stuff.
Nice.
Okay, so Quicksilver gets into a van, which is absolutely fucking insane. Like, not only is that technology which you're trying to avoid, this is maximum overdrive rules, remember, but he can just run.
Like, meet them there, dude.
So he
Just
just
meet them there.
he does. Um, then we discover that the Phalanx has taken over the Empire State Building. That's where they have the X-Men in pods because they're trying to slowly figure out how to crack absorbing mutants, and they have all of the top mutants, and all their powers are turned off when they're within these cocoons that they're holding him within. And we hear a bunch of anti-mutant racism from this dude Cameron Hodge, who was actually in the first season. He's the guy that's petitioning the government to be racist to mutants. So it's actually like a great pullback from like the even before Graydon Creed voice of racism in the show shows up again. It was his part in the Phalanx Covenant to be like the human that kind of said to the Phalanx like, "Hey, let's all be racist to the mutants." So he's kind of a one-dimensional evil villain, but there's a lot of really cool, creepy visuals with his like, face coming out of the black and yellow phalanx vibe.
Yeah, he's a freak, man.
Yeah, he's a real creepy villain.
Yeah, this is the part where they're like,
Harper Steve
because
Buscemi.
they're like building up this spire the whole. Hmm?
I said it would be a great role for Steve Buscemi.
It would.
Hello, fellow humans.
Oh, actually, John Hodgman. How good would that be?
Hmm.
John Hodgman as a race.
Yes.
Could you imagine?
So yeah, this was the part that I was talking about beforehand when like because they've been like building up this spire the whole time and then it reveals to the Empire State Building and I just sang that song from The Simpsons like they finally made a monkey out of me. Very Planet of the Apes.
It is, I guess, and they're planning to use this spire to bring Phalanx, the Phalanx to Earth, and then make everything Phalanx and get rid of all individuality on the planet. Before we go into part two, let's talk about what was coming out at the time. And let's rate episode one. So, guys, what would you rate episode one of this two-parter?
I thought this was pretty cool. Really good introduction. I'd give it like 7.77.
Gonna go with a hard 8.
Yeah, I think I give this an 8 as well. Really solid. Cool to see Beast in it. Maybe not as resonant because it doesn't have some of the cooler characters like Rogue, Wolverine, Jean leading the charge, Storm. But as we're about to find out, maybe it isn't the greatest thing when Storm is the star of the episode.
Oh my.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So
We'll get to it.
both Phalanx Covenant episodes came out September 7th, 1996. It was like a 1-hour premiere on Fox Kids Saturday morning. These episodes were written by Stephen Melching and David McDermott, who will write a whole lot of the 5th season. I guess they're like available. Not as many of the writers from the first seasons they were all often doing other things. The number one song was Macarena by Los Del Mar.
Yeah.
And a song that nobody knew at the time is actually about having a threesome with two of your partner's best friends.
Again, I don't speak Spanish.
But it is. That's what it's about.
Oh yeah,
Take your word for it.
Sorry, because in the timeline we've actually talked about this song before, just like 6 episodes ago.
Totally. But season 3 episodes didn't come out until season 5, and those, yes. Yeah.
It's like one of my first episodes that we talk about the Macarena.
Most definitely. It was an unfortunate situation. The number one movie was Bulletproof. Adam Sandler and Wayans.
Oh yeah.
A movie that ultimately led to White Chicks.
Yay! I love that movie.
Also in theaters still and making money were Tin Cup, which is the Kevin Costner golf movie. A Time to Kill, which is maybe John Grisham best story, the one where Samuel Jackson kills the guys who rape his kid.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
That one.
Yeah, my dad got me to watch that movie. I think I was about 7.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've ever actually seen it all the way through. I just saw so many parts of it, and I think I read the book because I had a Grissom face for sure. As one did in the early 90s.
You and my father.
Child. Yeah. So also Independence Day. Independence Day was still in theaters and making money.
Yeah. And it was a day before my 12th birthday.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what you did on your 12th birthday? I'm sure it was.
So I guess I would have probably gone go-karting or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's a guess. I don't remember. That whole period was a real blur for me.
We grew up in the same place. I don't remember go-karts.
There was a go-kart
Wait.
place in like Saratoga Speedway.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because I used to go to summer camp in Courtney, and there was like a 30-minute drive away, there was the fucking rad go-karts that didn't have a bunch of safety measures on them, and you could just fucking rip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to edit this part out, but when I was 2, I went to Saratoga Speedway for the monster trucks and ruptured my eardrum. And that's why I had ear surgeries twice in my childhood. So I never went to Saratoga Speedway ever again until
That's fair.
a Tech 9 concert.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
busted out your other eardrum, probably.
they had these random no, it would take a lot to do that, and Tech 9 famously just plays like 30 seconds of each of his songs and then leaves.
It was super. He played like 12 locals played 20-minute sets, and then, which is what they're capable of, right? And then he comes in and just plays like fucking 60 songs in an hour, and boom, he's out. But it was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He
my friends
he was in 919.
My truck right up to the stage, and I was like, my truck was being used as like a headquarters. People were like tailgating out of it, and I was getting my film shit from it all the time. It's a good time. I guess you can leave that in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I think this is something we can leave in. Do you remember when I say I know things culturally or I've seen things culturally? It usually means I've seen the Simpsons episode referencing it.
Hmm.
That's really funny, but that makes so much sense. The Simpsons for the 90s was
Hmm.
really like this gate and that validated a whole lot of stuff.
Hmm.
Like it,
Used to be very clever.
yeah, and like that and the critic, in the Ben Stiller show at the time, like there was a whole lot of satire of pop culture that was really, really on point.
Hmm.
Didn't the critic cross over with the Simpsons? Like, isn't that what John Lovitz was doing there?
Probably
Hmm.
how you know the critic is the Simpsons episode because it's not a show that airs in reruns or anything, but like it's really worth noting that the critic is what Brad Bird and Judd Apatow were doing in their late 20s. Like an important like moment in comedy. That all these talents were working on this really good show that really holds up. So the thing that I was gapping on and forgetting about the Phalanx Covenant Part 1 is that Mr. Sinister is one of the main characters.
Okay.
All fucking forgot Sinister. But he was just like lieutenant to the guy trying to destroy the whole fucking universe. And then he's suddenly coming to Xavier for help. That's actually cool. That establishes the
He
concept
like
big.
FaceTimes Xavier and is like, "Yeah, so you busy? Are you busy? We
Look,
need
I
to
know we're not
talk.
talking right now, but listen, this is really important,
This
okay?
is really important. It's a matter of national security."
You know who should be Mr. Sinister? Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit, yes.
He would be so goddamn good as Mr. Sinister.
Oh my God.
Hairbag, come and bring me them, you
Just
know?
drop a truckload of money at his doorstep and like whatever. He will do it. He did The Mandalorian and he made Grogu a puppet instead of CGI. Like he will do that shit and take it very seriously and give you good advice. Just do it. It was the same company who signed the paychecks.
Yeah.
Herzog's so
Yeah,
good.
that's what I said. And it was like a lot of FaceTiming in this one. There's a lot of communication via FaceTime, which is a technology that wouldn't be
Nice.
invented for another 20 years.
Six in the Marvel universe, you know? It's too bad that there's no mention of like Scarlet Witch, but she was off in the Avengers, which is actually like I didn't realize, but the Scarlet Witch in Bloodlines is actually the Scarlet Witch from the Iron Man show that was happening at the same time in the 90s because Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, and X-Men were all the same universe. There was very little crossover between X-Men and Spider-Man and the other things,
Hmm.
except for Scarlet Witch and Bloodlines and a couple of minor notes. But it is all the same universe. And Ghost Rider, like, famously appears in Fantastic Four and Incredible Hulk and maybe,
Nicolas Cage.
but there's lots of crossover between Iron Man and Fantastic Four. Um, in the Fantastic Four cartoon, Ghost Rider shows up out of nowhere when they're fighting Galactus and they can't beat him, and Ghost Rider just touches Galactus, and Galactus just experiences all of the souls that he has ended all at once and just fucks off. It's out of nowhere. There's no build up to it, and it's just boom. Here's the end of the episode. The last minute. You can look it up online. It's incredible.
That's fucking
Hey,
hilarious.
Galactus, hope you like souls. Touch, you know?
I really want to, I think that the Pedro Pascal Fantastic Four movie would have heavily benefited from Nicolas Cage just showing up out of nowhere as Ghost Rider, chaining Galactus, and right?
Yeah.
Every movie that I can think of could be improved by Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider showing up.
Hmm.
That's real. I think it's time to bring Nicolas Cage back into the MCU. That's where I'm coming from here. I mean, he's
Thank
got to make us
goodness.
all fall in love again with Spider-Man Noir, right?
We'll see.
I'm pretty stoked for that project. It's got Lee Jun Lee.
Oh,
Can't be back.
yeah,
And
I'm really excited for that guy.
by the time this episode comes out, the show will be out, so we might sound dumb. You feel
Haha!
Feel free to edit us
Oh,
here if that's what.
what do you mean? What are you talking about? We've never done that before. Ready
You
or
heard it
not?
here first.
Here I
Jim is all in
come.
on Spider-Man Noir.
Jim's seal of approval.
Yep,
Okay. So we're gonna get to the Phalanx Covenant part two now.
kind of.
So they're on Mr. Sinister's plane. We got Beast and Forge and Warlock, and they're trying to figure out how to stop the invasion. Meanwhile,
Boys Club.
we go
Boys
back into
Club.
the Phalanx, and Wolverine has been kind of revived so that Cameron Hodge can monologue to him about how he's a racist. And they want to try and use Wolverine's adamantium bones as a conductor, seeing as his healing factor prevents him from being taken over.
Mhm.
Seriously, like them installing this fucking metal skeleton into this man has done nothing but hurt. Like, it, one, hurts to get in there. Two, every time Magneto needs him, he can just be like, get over here. And then this happens too. Like, that metal skeleton is a fucking hazard.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny whenever anybody's bones are a plot point.
My
And it was also the night that
bones.
the skeletons came to life.
Literally, it's
Their bones for their daughters.
in giant capital letters. I've wrote, Logan's goddamn bones strike again.
Yeah, I
Remember
mean,
that scene in fucking Wolverine and
Wolverine
Logan?
where his head's
Wolverine
bones.
and yeah.
Kill
Oh
people.
God,
Incredible.
amazing. Yeah.
Like, what a great opening for that movie. To be like,
No.
oh, you're worried about us desecrating the original? Oh, we're gonna desecrate
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do it.
In 4D, that was especially jarring.
Beast, Sinister, Forge, and Warlock managed to make their way to Muir Island and work with Moira McTaggart, Banshee, and Amelia Vogt. Nice to see her again, you know? Like, we have the setup. She has the connection to Magneto. She suggests they go and talk to Magneto because, who's got powers that could fuck with the Phalanx? That guy.
Mm.
Also, his son is being, captured, but really, it's Pietro's fault. Like,
Always.
yeah. Honestly, so many things are Pietro's fault. At one point, he like exposes all of humanity to like mutating mists and shit. And another point, he
And
gets.
in the MCU, his death is his own fault.
I mean, I guess he's sacrificing himself so that Hawkeye and the Sokovian person can live. That's
Mhm.
yeah, not wrong. Not wrong. Okay. So the heroes manage to infiltrate the Phalanx base at the Empire State Building and get a sample of the Phalanx. Before they can use Forge's virus on the sample, it morphs into Hodge's head, and they have a good, cool debate. It's really creepy. It was kind of like an evil, twisted version of that scene in The Abyss, where the gentle alien mimics her face to communicate its
Mm.
intelligence.
Felt very Cronenberg to me. Very body horror.
Oh, Cronenberg would be the best person to play Cameron Hodge, too, because he
Mhm.
actually
Oh
has
my
the acting
fucking
job.
god.
He does a great job as a hologram in Star Trek Discovery.
Hell yeah.
Mhm. So Amelia, Forge, and Sinister bust into the base and start blasting. The captives are set free. Jean Grey does some psychic stuff.
Mhm.
Cool, I guess. Um, the captives are set free, and Warlock merges with the virus, with the Phalanx Collective wiping them out. So the bad Phalanx are. So Warlock decides, okay, if me and my partner might die, but it's worth it to save humanity. So that's a fucking great hero choice moment, you know? Ultimately, they don't. They kind of pussy out and make Warlock and his life partner come back to life, and they're fine. And she just doesn't remember anything. So they definitely give you like
Lot of life partner in this
a
one.
nice version of it. Yeah. I would like I think the best version of the story though is that they just both die, or she's dead and he did it. Something
Yeah.
tragic. A tragic version of this would be great, but I still give it a 9 just because like it falls just short of that, but it's fucking epic. Huge stuff is happening. Really good story. Yeah. The version it ends in the comic books with one character, Blink, having to sacrifice herself to like she blinks herself and all of the Phalanx out of existence to save everybody. So it ends tragically, and that maybe influences my view that this story should end tragically. But it's such a big consequential thing. Like there should be a price for this victory, even if it's the character introduced in the story.
The Empire State Building will never be the same again.
Yeah.
No.
What do you guys do?
Damn, that. How many times has the Empire State Building been fucked up by a supernatural entity? Like, god damn, they must have rebuilt that hundreds of times now.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think we'd see it in the news.
So what number rating would you give these guys?
I said I was a 9.5.
Oh, cool. What about you, Ben?
9.9.
Cool. You guys loved it. That's great.
It's great.
Yeah.
I loved how Beast always had a grenade in his bag at any given time. I'm all for Beast having a bag full of
Beast
grenades.
is dope in this. It's great that Beast has his cool hero moment. It's cool that Forge is the other guy that's there. You know, Sinister's also there. There's some interesting stuff in the finale, like Magneto's hanging out with like X Factor is also free along with the X-Men, so Polaris is there beside Magneto.
Oh,
Polaris
yeah.
is another one of his daughters, but that is not acknowledged or mentioned, and it's barely been hinted at. But it's another thing in the comics.
That man, he is on par with Zeus for how many times him fucking around has created something crazy.
At least it's always consensual. Zeus pretends to be animals. Let's not compare him to a guy who pretends to be animals to fuck ladies.
I guess.
Yes, ladies famously love.
Mystique turned into a dude. If we're gonna do double standards.
Okay, Ben, can you just mute us for like a minute? Maybe we want to take a quick second. We gotta talk about spoilers for a minute.
Okay. I will pause my audio and stuff.
Yeah. David, we gotta talk about X-Men 97 for a second.
Oh, he's not seen it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's a thing that we
okay.
didn't talk about in this episode, but Ben,
Yeah.
like, Ben, you nerd, can you hear us? See, I don't know if he's fucking with me. I don't know if he can hear us or not. Anyway,
Seems like if he could.
quickly, I couldn't help but notice that Jean Grey, who we know is not Jean Grey, because in X-Men 97 she is replaced by Madeline Pryor, and we figure that it's probably during Beyond Good and Evil when they kidnap her, right? So
yes,
the Jean Grey that's in Beyond Good and Evil Volume 4 and on, so starting with this episode, is actually somebody else. And what does she do in the very end of the episode? She says, "Oh, let Mr. Sinister go, Scott. Don't worry about him." Yeah.
hussy.
Isn't that fucking sick?
That's fucking sick. Okay. Oh my god. This is again this is the best reboot of anything. Like this
I
is
think that's the line that convinced him to do it. Because it's like, why the fuck
Hundo.
doing that? Why would she say that? Okay.
Fuck. Seriously.
You can unmute us now. You can
Come back.
Okay.
come back.
I'm back.
Okay, sweet.
Hi.
Thanks for letting us talk about that. That was yeah. Had to just mention that the audience needs to yeah. That was cool. So let's
So
move. Oh, any final thoughts on the Phalanx Covenant?
no, I was just gonna say let's move on to Stormfront because I'm super excited to talk about it.
Why?
Because I want to get it over with.
Okay, so part 1 aired November 2nd, 1996. It was written by Mirith J. Colao. The song was the Macarena. The movie was Romeo and Juliet, or Romeo plus Juliet, featuring the
One of the best
Romeo ever, played by Harold Perrineau. Is that what you're going to say?
Well, yeah, because imagine taking a role that's been made like thousands of times over the years and being the best.
Yeah.
Like, just get out of here. Harold Perrineau.
Okay. Sleepers and High School High were also out that week, and they were kind of like modest successes. Sleepers, that movie about bunch of boys getting molested by Kevin Bacon and killing him later in life. And then High School High, the John Lovitz and Tia Carrere stoner.
Yep.
It's a real thing.
The
So
only thing I remember from that movie is when he like brings a record to like the school dance for the DJ to put on. It's Rhinestone Cowboy. And he like starts
Oh
playing
my
it. And
God.
then like the DJ starts scratching the record and he's like, "Oh, well, okay. I don't know about that." And like makes it like cool for the kids, you know.
I don't remember a single thing about that movie. Maybe it's time to watch it again. I watched it at a birthday party in '97, so
Nice.
almost 30 years ago.
You are on your own.
Yeah. And also flopping that weekend was Larger Than Life.
Huh.
Hmm.
Bill Murray and an elephant movie. I never saw it.
Oh,
In all of my as, like most young millennials, I had a Bill Murray phase in my fucking 20s and watched a whole ton of them. And that produces some great products. Razor's Edge and Where the Buffalo Roam are classic movies that you might not discover if you don't go on a Bill Murray phase. But I never ever watched Larger Than Life. I even watched The Man Who Knew Too Little. But
That was a good one.
yeah, I mean John Whaley. How could you go wrong? Stormfront Part 2 came out November 9th, 1996, written by Brooks Wachtel, who also wrote Mojovision and Dark Phoenix Part 4. So some pretty fucking banger
Mhm.
episodes. So I don't know.
yeah, this was not in succession of that.
The song was No Diggity by Blackstreet and Dr. Dre. It's cool that that's what knocked Macarena off.
Yes.
Okay, if you insist,
Better.
I will sing the whole thing from memory. I'll do it if you need me to. No, I'm
Think
just
way
kidding.
too
I'm
many
totally
people
kidding.
sing that song in its entirety. The number one movie was Ransom, the Mel Gibson movie,
Mm.
where like every other movie where Gary Sinise is the villain, they just tell you that Gary Sinise is the villain halfway through the movie, even though it wouldn't give much more suspense to the film if you didn't know that, and we didn't find out until the main character finds out. I
That
don't
and
know
the
what's up with
blue
that.
filter over everything.
Yeah,
Really bad and
I'll definitely watch one.
seedy.
But one of the I think like one of the earliest like bunch of women on a crime spree movie, Set It Off, came out that week. And that's a classic.
Oh,
Yeah.
a good one.
Like even to this day, like stuff like Hustlers, I feel like is like a modern version of that same story, like a bigger, more
Did
epic.
y'all ever see Sugar and Spice?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that movie's a fucking banger. Sorry, that every time like I connect those movies in my head for some reason.
Because of the cheerleader crime spree. I think the best movie in this genre is probably Spring Breakers. Even though
Yeah,
James
that's good.
Franco's in it, it's like the role James Franco was born to play. So, what the fuck happened with Stormfront? First of all, why is this 2 episodes when this could have been like an email? This could
This could
be
have been an email. Yeah.
any. This could be any cartoon from any decade, but probably the 1940s. It's such like the only thing that's unique to the X-Men about it is that this dude Arkon from another planet steals Storm to his planet to use her powers to fix his bullshit. He's kind of like he's a terrible ruler that's exploiting the shit out of his own planet, and her powers can fix it in the same way that Storm's powers today would fix global warming. So that's kind of an interesting notion, but I don't think they're exploring that. This is just like an old fashioned Buck Rogers pulp type story. They get transported to this world where the clouds are different colors, and that's how they show it's cool. I guess that it looks a little bit interesting, maybe,
I
but
like that they called the robots clankers. That was funny.
yes,
Okay.
that's the best thing about it. And this is hold on because that will come back in a minute, but it is it is prophetic that Brooks Wachtel or Wachtel came up with Clanker for the same
Uh-huh.
central thing that we call it today, which is LLMs. But like those things are taking away jobs and enforcing shittiness upon us all. So like, I
Make a
guess like
jar
there's the
jar.
bones of this kind of work, but it's just such a generically presented thing. And maybe it's just the visual design. Like Arkon is just Conan, right? Like he just gives that vibe off. It's so boring.
Correct.
Is an alien emperor just that? Just a Conan the Barbarian knockoff.
Is he like
Mm-hmm,
from
mm-hmm.
the comics, or do they just make this guy up for
Is,
this?
but like um from an Avengers annual or something.
Mm.
Like I couldn't really find evidence that this was a Storm story originally. Maybe I'm
Pretty
wrong.
Thor coded, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, it just didn't really feel like it fit into this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like maybe somebody's just like favorite story. Maybe the first comic book somebody bought in the 70s when they were a kid and they just had a real like a hard soft spot for them. In any event, like this could have been done in one episode.
Yeah.
Somehow it's two. They're all whisked away to another planet, and Storm fixes it, and for some reason falls in love with him. But we never really get a clear explanation why she falls in love with him because she's initially suspicious of him. They have to break out and fight the Clankers, and Wolverine fights Cyclops to get out, which is kind of fun. Like there's
Mm.
stuff here that works, but it's just like, why is this 2 hour? Why is this a full 45?
Yeah. And if you're gonna make it 2 episodes, at least give us an explanation on why Storm's suddenly like, yeah, I'm marrying this guy. Let's celebrate.
It just
Like,
isn't really
what?
explained. In the second episode, we at least get a little deeper. We find out there's another planet in the star system, and they decide to take over that planet and wage war with it to enslave them so that they can be the worker class. So like that's a cool thing. Like this would probably work a whole lot better in live action, maybe, but I don't think that this is a unique enough story that it should ever be an X-Men thing. Like
Mm.
X-Men resources shouldn't be put on a movie of this story for
Be
sure.
like a Star Trek episode.
It very much felt like a Star Trek episode or like a two-part He-Man episode or something. That just the depth wasn't really there for it. So Cyclops, Wolverine, and Jubilee figure out in their various ways because Jubilee goes with Storm and kind of is her like attendant, her lady in waiting, and they all witness the fact that even Arkon's people are totally afraid of him. And then Arkon's people go to war, and everything is just all fucked up, and he's acting like it's like it can't be avoided, even though we see him choose to go to war just to have slaves. So it's all just really, really basic stuff. And I don't know if stuff that is this basic worked because like the audience that is in X-Men was more sophisticated and just needed this shit anyway. And the people that are enslaving shit and fascistic and everything, the people that maybe need to see this message weren't ever gonna watch X-Men, especially not in season 5. They were out
Mm.
fucking I don't know dirt biking or killing
Smoking
I
crack and trying to rap over other people's music.
yeah.
nah, I don't know if we've gotten to this point yet, but I just want to shout out the the charisma that Arkon must possess to completely convince Storm that the armada of warships outside is bringing presents. Like, oh, that's just they're coming to bring us wedding presents.
It just
And Storm's like,
We need
uh-huh.
so much food that we have to send 500 warships.
Like, ma'am, you should know better at this point.
yeah. So like I give like part one 4 and part two a 5, but I'm really not
Mhm.
too hot on either of these. This is probably the most skippable.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact that it was like I haven't watched these 2 episodes in a long time because I never watch them. I usually skip over this.
And I won't watch him again.
Totally. Do you have like number ratings for them or any further thoughts?
Yeah, like 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Give one a 6 and one a 0.9.
Okay, so now we're going
Ugh.
the final X-Men episode of 1996. It aired November 16th. It was also written by Brooks Wachtel. So maybe the fact that these two were written maybe short notice or something might explain what the fuck is up
I
with
do miss filler episodes.
No Diggity is still the number one song, but we have three big fucking two big debuts and one Barbara Streisand debut. Well, the mirror has two faces. I wouldn't say that's like a huge hit or anything, right? Have you seen that movie?
Oh, okay, yeah, you're fine. You're good. You're fine.
Yeah. Not trashing barefoot in the park or funny lady or something. Although I will because I tried. Oof. So
Nope,
also
that's bait. That's bait. I don't have to take that.
also debuting we have in limited release is the eventual Best Picture winner, The English Patient,
Mm.
and the number one movie is Space Jam.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
A movie that if you watched it as a child, you think it's good. But if you watch it as an adult, you realize it is a 90-minute commercial for a lot of things.
Sure, but compared to Space Jam: A New Legacy, it's fine. That movie is
Well,
most
you chose to watch that.
I
I knew in my heart I didn't need to.
I think you would love it because it's one of the worst films of all time. It's so incredibly bad,
It's
so
bad.
relentlessly soulless and in your face with how much it just wants to give you member berries and pass that off as a film.
Well, that's insulting, first of all.
You love things get made. Bad movies
Like,
are your whole.
if you thought Michael Jordan wasn't very good as an actor, God, LeBron
I
James is
didn't.
the worst.
Okay, but that's the thing is
Michael Jordan looked like James McAvoy.
LeBron James is a genuinely funny actor. Like when he was the best part of that Amy Schumer garbage movie
Yeah, no,
Trainwreck,
Yeah.
for
he was
sure. I'll give
so
you.
fucking funny.
Yeah,
Mm.
but that's when
So
he's
fucking funny.
playing a well-written character. This is not.
No.
Like I think
Oh yeah.
like we bagged on Judd Apatow a little bit, but I think Trainwreck was actually pretty good considering everybody involved. It was like as good as it could possibly be.
I mean, considering everybody involved, everyone
No,
involved was
no,
good
don't do
except for
something
that.
you're gonna have to cut out. Don't do something you're gonna have to cut out. Sin.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So Jubilee for some reason is taking a bunch of kids on a tour on of this cave system under the X-Men's mansion, which you think would just be like what the X-Men's mansion is like built into, right? Like just doesn't really track for me that this is happening.
Who authorized this?
Yeah.
Professor
Does
X.
anybody know Jubilee is doing this?
It
Yeah.
seems very irresponsible to give her control of all of these kids.
What is she
No,
like 5 years older than these children?
Oh,
literally, he is like, "Oh, we just got a call from the president. So all of the important X-Men have to go. Jubilee, you stay here and look after the kids because it's so important to teach children. And we already promised them this field trip."
It's like
And
when
then
my
she's
mom left
like,
my 14-year-old brother to watch over me when I was 12.
"If it's so important," she says, "then why don't you send one of these two?" And she points to like Wolverine and Gambit. And Gambit's like, "Oh, I'm too stupid, Cher." And Wolverine's like, "Yeah, you know how I always fall apart around kids or something weird." It's like, okay, I guess I'll do it. Like brutal. But anyway, so yeah, that's why she does it because they fucking just bail on her. They're like, okay, take care of all these kids. Bye.
Whose children are these?
and this is also like at a point where we've seen her powers evolve to a point where she can actually use them to be effective in combat, and she saved the day a bunch of times.
Hmm.
So this feels like this should have happened in season two kind of story, maybe, if it should have happened at all. Anyway, the cave collapses, the roof of the cave, and they can't get out, so she decides to distract the kids by telling them a story made up using elements from her own life. So she starts to weave this fantasy story where she's kind of let's say Romani gypsy.
It's kind of like
The
Robin.
self-insert is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. She's a rogue princess, a little kind of a Robin Hoodish type, and then she runs into Gambit's analog character, who is another thief, roguish character. He fits well into it. He's kind of cool as a rogue thief, as silly as this whole world is. Also, we should mention that part of the reason why none of this really tracks is we've entered the Philippine animation studio era. The last two four episodes we watched are the last four ACOM episodes, the only ones that ACOM was able to commit to. So, like, especially when you see a couple of the episodes that we'll cover next episode, when we talk about the last five episodes of the show, you'll see that, like, it really wasn't a great choice to have these guys make Stormfront. That's a real waste of their animation ability. Like, if that was a Philippine animation studio one, it'd be fine. It'd be worse, but at least it wouldn't have been like a waste also of really cool traditional animation. We have seen the last of it. From here on in, we're just watching the Philippine animation studio, and it's a really jarring transition.
Hmm.
All the character movements are really, really wild now. They're no longer trying to match the dark, shadowy look of the show as they were when they did Cold Comfort and that two-parter for the beginning of season 3.
Hmm.
So eh, it just makes the whole thing a little harder to sit through, I feel.
Hmm.
However, the best part of the episode comes in next.
It did kind of make it look like a Magic School Bus episode, which was
It
fun.
did. I wouldn't be surprised if they also made the Magic School Bus. It does have that vibe. But a whole bunch of like magnetic, kind of like Rayman style um, warrior robots with Magneto helmets show up, and they are, I guess, robots. But the best thing is that Gambit calls them clankers.
Clank clanks.
Yeah, and that's what they are. They're machines to the best of their ability. Anyway, Wolverine comes in because in this world he is a fucking troll. It's pretty funny that he's a green troll. If it looked cool, it would be awesome, but it does look shitty.
Jubilee is so funny. Like, holy fuck. She makes herself this like ultimate power, and she's like, Logan could be a troll.
Like
Yeah,
not Beast. Like Beast would have fit for that character a lot better.
Beast already would have been him, but like Wolverine has to be included because it's Wolverine, don't you think?
Hmm.
He's the star of the show.
That's that's why we haven't been able to escape Hugh Jackman for 25 years.
Yeah, we won't until he's 90. It's the whole point.
Or or
Yeah, yeah. Let's hope that he's around till he's 90. Um, yeah. Anyway, Gambit mentions that he has the other piece of this diamond that Magneto wants that would allow him to have some power. So they go on this adventure and they get the thing, and it turns out that
what's it called though? Sorry. What's it called?
what is it
The
called?
crystal?
I
The
forget.
McTaggart crystal.
Oh, right, right. Another Moira McTaggart reference because everything has to
Hmm.
revolve around her because she is kind of like playing God with the Marvel Universe.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't really remember how it all gets resolved. I think Magneto is involved again, this time a bad one.
Xavier's a giant head. I remember that.
Oh, Zordon style.
Wearing
Gotcha.
a turban.
I don't know. It's really hard to focus on this episode for me. Um,
Ugh, yeah.
yeah. At the end, we get like a really weird version of Cyclops and Jean are the king and queen in this world, and they speak with like very strange stilted accents that are not British accents, and they
Nope.
don't sound like they're the real voice actors, even though it's just weird.
Yeah.
Feels like they cheaped out and got other people to play them since it wasn't technically Scott and Jean.
Really
Maybe
taking photo double to another level.
I don't know. Like there's a Saber. They brought Sabretooth in for it, that actor, and they brought Magneto in for a small part.
Well, he did say that if Jubilee wanted to stay, she had to learn the like way of speaking and stuff, like and how to dress and stuff. So maybe that was part of it.
Maybe they just wanted her to stop being so Asian.
Hmm.
She decides ultimately to not be a princess and spend more time as a thief or whatever, and she leaves with Wolverine and Gambit to have more adventures. We find this out after the kids have been rescued because the kids all like water rushes into the area, so everyone realizes it's a big problem. The X-Men do eventually save them, but the kids want to hear the end of the story, so that's when we hear the resolution, the denouement part, and then
So it turns
Xavier.
out Jubilee's the world's best babysitter.
Adventures in Babysitting, Part 3.
Hmm.
At least Adventures in Babysitting had Thor. This was, I don't know. There's some redeeming qualities that are fun, but give it like
It's a fun filler episode. If it was animated any better, it would be a lot more enjoyable.
yeah.
I like how Jubilee looked like Dora the Explorer when she was leading those kids around.
Bury that.
Totally did. Yeah, I give it a 3.
I'm gonna give it a hard 4.
Yeah.
3.3. Repeating.
Fair. Okay. Join us next time, everybody. We're going to finish off the X-Men 1992 run with the actual 5 episodes that aired in 1997 before we get into some deep dives onto X-Men 97 episodes. A little bit more thorough with those, but get ready for a real whirlwind tour because we're going to do the Fifth Horseman, Old Soldiers, Descent, Hidden Agendas, and Graduation Day next week.